Now, self-publishing can get your book out there quicker without using an agent, editors, or finding a publishing house. But how much does it cost to get your book published? Well, I'm Mike with WriterSanctuary, and today I'm going to go over how much I spent to get a Freelancer tale published on Amazon. Now, before we get started, if you can hit the like button, help the channel out, and for more videos about self-publishing, hit subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always hit me up on social media on Twitter or Facebook, or use the contact form on WriterSanctuary.com's website. Now, when all is said and done, I didn't spend anything publishing my first book. Though, keep in mind that my first book is very niche specific. Unless you know who I am and care about how I went from content mills to what I do today, I'm not going to sell a lot of books. In fact, I haven't even had a chance to spend any money on marketing, as no one is clicking the ad for my book. That's because the target audience for the book is extremely narrow. Essentially, I'm not a household name and really nobody knows me. I bet if Stephen King produced a autobiography that people would be crawling over themselves to buy it. But I'm just some schmuck on YouTube. My next book, however, which has a publishing date of May 1st, has a much wider audience because it is a fictional tale. Anyway, the whole purpose of a Freelancer's tale was to give me something that'll let me explore self-publishing and all of its aspects, and for that, I'd call it a win. It has surpassed all of my expectations. Essentially, I wanted to see if it could be done for free. So when it came to writing the book, I used the free LibreOffice word processor. It's essentially a program that's kind of like Microsoft Word, but without the bells and whistles. It worked great for what I needed at the time, although it wasn't perfect. Still, it was free. Next up would be editing the book. To edit the book, my friend and I spent a couple of weeks scrutinizing everything about it. I mean, you should never edit your own book. There's a lot of things you can gloss over, even as a professional editor. But once we were done reading it over, I fed it through Grammarly quite a few times. This is so that Grammarly could catch all the small mistakes, and I was using the free version of it as well. And while Grammarly was showing me all the things I could fix, I still rewrote quite a bit of it because I wanted to spruce it up as best I could. Remember, I was trying to do this all for free, so I don't have the money to pay for an editor. And the end result was a quite decent editing of a book for what it was. Next up is formatting the book. Amazon's Kindle Create app is free to use, but it restricts you to KPF files. This means you can only use those to publish your book on Amazon. Now I'm still looking for a free alternative so I can sell it elsewhere. Plus I want something that has better functionality. Kindle Create is okay, but it's buggy as shit. Now I spent a great deal of time trying to make it look as professional as possible for both the ebook and the printed copies. And I have to say that the printed version of the book came out quite nice. Next up is designing the cover. For a Freelancer tale, we took a picture from the overlook at Lookout Mountain. That's here based in Colorado, and I was literally standing about 20 feet away from Buffalo Bill's gravesite. Then I fed it into the free version of Canva for the ebook, and Canva has a lot of great tools to help you create something amazing for your ebook. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to create it for the printed copies because I didn't have access to the premium features that'll let me do the entire thing. So this means I had to use Kindle's cover creator that comes built in with the KDP platform, and it works well enough, but I didn't get all the cool effects and fonts that I wanted to use from Canva. Still, I was able to publish the book, and the printed copy did come out fairly well. Now, this is why Freelancer Tales ebook cover looks a bit different than the printed version. Now, both were free to use, and I was able to come up with a cover that I really liked. Now, those are the 4 elements that you'll most likely spend any kind of money when you're self-publishing, though I was able to do it without spending any money at all. Now, I do plan on spending quite a bit for marketing purposes, but at the moment, no one's clicking the ad, so it doesn't matter. You saw how well that was working out. But I'm sure Kingmaker will accrue quite a few additional expenses in marketing simply because of the type of book it is. Kingmaker is not an autobiography, it is a fantasy. Did I say fanny? I'm sure Kingmaker will have a few expenses because of the type of book it is. It is a fantasy gothic horror novel, and there's a much wider audience for that, and you really don't need to know who I am to buy it, as long as it's a gripping tale that people like to read. The bottom line is that you can publish a book without spending anything at all. But putting in a little bit of money in the investment does take a hell of a lot of work off of it for you. I mean, literally, I can't tell you the number of times that I read through a Freelancer's Tale just to make sure everything was great, all the I's dotted, T's crossed. I wanted to make sure it was the most spiffied up version of the book I could create, and I can definitely see why people would spend $4,000 for an editor. It's nerve-wracking. So what kind of expenses do you plan on incurring when you publish your own book? I think with the Kingmaker that comes out on May 1st, I'm going to keep the entire process free again, simply because I can't really judge how things work with an autobiography from somebody that nobody knows. I think something that has a much wider audience probably has a better chance of succeeding on the platform with marketing. So I'm going to learn how to do it all with Freelancer's Tale, but I'm not going to be upset if I don't sell any copies of it. Afterward, I'll start exploring different affordable options for the next book. If you are interested, A Freelancer's Tale is available on Amazon in ebook and paperback formats, and I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. For more videos about self-publishing, freelance writing, WordPress, text broker, anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I just kind of stumbled my way through that one. I think that's going to do it for me today, and I'll see you next time.